Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
And a good morning to you. Time for Coffee Ann here on ON Radio. It's Monday morning. It's June 19th. It is Juneteenth, federal holiday. Melissa, is it a state holiday or is that going to be next year?
Oh, good question.
Because I heard it's a state holiday, and then we're going to call in saying no. I heard it was voted in.
It was voted in.
That'll be a state holiday next year.
Of the 200 plus bills we voted on
You don't memorize
into early Friday morning, I don't recall what the start date was on that one.
We're going to consider it a state holiday this year, and then it'll be next year, and everything's going to be fine.
Yes, right.
All right, so that's Melissa Murray. Romeo Berthiaume is here. Good morning to you, Romeo.
Yes, good morning. I just have a question for Senator Murray. We'll be formal this morning. Doesn't a federal holiday supersede a state holiday? This is a federal holiday.
Right, and so it's like a bank holiday.
And no mail. Federal
and
holiday.
Right, federal holiday, right. So just making it a state holiday might change like the way private businesses do business.
So which one is more, we talked about this on Friday, which one is more
Which supersedes
powerful?
the other?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like marijuana was legalized in Massachusetts, but the federal government didn't legalize it. So that's
Right.
kind of a,
We legalized it here as well.
Okay, in Rhode Island,
Recreational,
too.
yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, I was just wondering. Today's Juneteenth. I did a little bit of research, Joe.
Yes, Romeo. We asked you to do that.
Well, it was June 19th, 1865, that a Union general declared in Galveston, Texas.
On the arrive, boy. Those flights are really delayed.
That the Civil War had ended. It ended on
2 years ago.
Officially, it ended on April 12th.
Yeah, 1865.
When Lee surrendered the Grant. But, a lot of, they didn't have communications in those days. So, a lot of the,
someone ride to
people
Texas.
didn't realize it was over. So they kept fighting, and now it's over, stop fighting. And he also said, I declare that the slaves are free.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they keep saying it was 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, which was issued by Lincoln in 63, effective January 1st. Well, that's not quite true, because first of all, the Emancipation Proclamation only freed the slaves in the Confederacy. And Texas was in the Confederacy, so technically they were free 2 years before. They didn't know it, but they were free. Anyway, he declared it, and of course, it's not the Emancipation Proclamation that freed the slaves. It's the 13th Amendment, which went into effect in December of 1865, which was about 6 months after Juneteenth was declared. So technically, everybody in the country was, every African American in the slave states, they were still slaves until the 13th Amendment was passed, December 6, 1865. So technically, they're a little bit wrong when they say everybody thinks the Emancipation Proclamation freed the slaves. It did in principle, in theory, but it was only in the Confederacy. There were 4 states, border states, that had slavery, but they were part of the Union. And if he would have freed the slaves in those 4 states, they would have seceded. So technically, they weren't freed until the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, which happened after Lincoln's passing. Lincoln died in April of 65, and this was declared, signed probably by President Johnson, the successor to Lincoln, in 1865. But for some reason, Juneteenth is considered the day that the slaves were all freed. Okay. Anyway, until recently, 27 of the 36 states commemorated that event. And 2 years ago, President Biden signed a bill declaring that from here on, a year from now, which was last year, and this is the second year, it's now a federal holiday. So happy Juneteenth, everyone!
All right.
And
then get you guys in.
and I noticed that coming down from Uxbridge, the traffic was heavy, if not heavier than normal. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
a regular business day out there. I don't know if you noticed that coming in from.
I
that.
drove about
Yeah.
1/3 of a mile, so
Okay. Too bad.
So I don't know.
the
if-
traffic was non-existent.
I know if people. That's good. You're lucky. I'm just wondering if people even know it's a holiday.
Well, if you're working down here at Navigant Credit Union, you do.
Yeah, the banks, the,
Right, right.
You know, the post office, the federal
Well,
offices, probably the state offices too. I would assume, right? They're all closed
Yes.
today.
Yeah.
so-
Yeah.
And schools. Well, most of the schools are closed
Schools
for the
are.
summer anyway, but not all of
Well,
them.
my daughter's got her final exams,
There
which
you go.
started last week, but
Yeah.
today's a day off,
And
and
so-
we'll continue
Yeah,
tomorrow.
and some of them are going until next week, till the end of June. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
there we go. That's it.
All right, so it is Juneteenth, so hopefully you got the day off today, or at least part of the day off.
Well, we got the rest of it. Well, I do.
Yeah, same.
Well,
We
listen,
did-
well,
we did,
that's just what- okay.
We got a note that was called in just talking about the Red Sox. Now, the note was written before the 3-game sweep
Okay.
of the New York Yankees.
Okay.
So it just
yeah,
says,
that was quite a game.
I never ever say a team that's at 500, and they were,
Yep.
are finished in June. They're now 2 games over 500, by the way.
That's great.
Except this year.
Oh.
Too many obstacles for the Red Sox to overcome, like the Orioles and the Blue Jays and the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays. I mean, they're 2 games over 500. They're still in last place, Romeo.
I hate those birds.
Tampa
The Orioles.
Bay's a runaway train. Not to mention
Yeah.
Texas or Houston.
I agree.
Are bona fide playoff teams. And the Angels. Hate to say it, but the Red Sox are finished. It's a reality.
Well, I think
So-
whoever that is right. I agree. Even though they had a great weekend, and Friday night, 15-5, man. Okay.
Bats came up. Melissa, did you go to one of the games?
I did.
Which one did you go to?
Yesterday afternoon, the one that was rained out on Saturday night.
Saturday. So you went. So you had the 1:30 game on yesterday.
The 1:30 game yesterday.
That
It
was-
was a
that was
good
a good
game.
game
How was
Yeah,
it?
it was
a full
great.
Full house.
There were quite a few empty seats.
I wonder why.
Well,
But-
couldn't make it or whatever. And it was Father's Day.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
it was
true.
Father's Day,
Yeah,
and
but-
the game was supposed to be the night before.
Yeah.
And they didn't call it until 5 o'clock, even though we knew all day.
Yeah.
It was gonna.
It was like 100% rain
Yeah.
all day, and I don't know why they didn't call it. And I guess like folks on Twitter were mad, tweeting at the Red Sox saying like, "Hey, look, I'm coming, from 3 hours away.
Yeah. Is there gonna be a game?
Is there going to be a game?" There wasn't.
I
So
want you to show up and buy hot dogs and beer,
yeah.
and then go home.
Well, of course.
Right.
Of
So
course.
we went to the 1:30 game, and then as we were coming out, people were starting to come in.
Yeah.
But
and
it was a great
and
game.
I would think
It was good.
Father's Day would be really crowded because of the dad and his son. That's kind of a
Well, people had tickets.
tradition. don't
Well,
you
people
think?
had tickets for the
Yeah.
the night game.
Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
our game was supposed to be
So-
for the night before.
Oh,
People might
gotcha.
have had plans for Father's Day to go somewhere else and
Yeah.
not go to the ball game. And
Yeah, I got you.
So
Yeah, but
and like that.
Anyhow, good
Yeah.
good for the Red Sox. Good sweep, and 2 most expensive teams in the league. Of course, one of them had to lose,
Yeah.
but a sweep. Wow.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
I did buy an $8 Dell, so that was it.
No what?
$8 what?
Dell's lemonade.
$8 for a
$8.
Oh, it was a good size.
Dollar. No, it was
Like
their medium size
Wow.
that they usually get. Right, but
Yeah, but
it
you
was-
should have
it was
told them.
sunny, and I was thirsty, and I
Yeah,
was just
okay.
like,
That's
You should wait a minute. I'm a state senator.
Yeah,
in
we're in
Rhode
Massachusetts.
Island, yeah, but
They
it
don't
doesn't
care about
matter.
me.
Carries no
No,
club.
Okay, no,
professional
no.
courtesy. Listen,
Carries
Dell's
no
is from Rhode
problem,
Island.
yes.
Give me a break. I'm a Rhode Islander, and not only that, an official. Give me a break.
No,
Okay,
no.
$7 for
So you were at the game, Melissa.
Yes.
Now you probably didn't see this because you were at the game, but Nesson did a big thing on it. There was a foul ball that was hit at one point, and a guy got the ball.
Yep.
He was a grown man, and he decided that he was going to give the ball behind him and a little over to his right was a family.
Yep.
Mom, dad, 2 kids, about 7 and
Nice.
5 or 4.
Yep.
Yep.
And he gave it to the little boy.
What a nice
Yep.
The
guy.
young, yeah. Did you see what happened?
No, I did not.
The little boy got the ball great and threw it on the field.
Oh,
The older boy was in tears.
I would imagine
He
that-
was so distraught
I
that
ima-
he had his younger brother had thrown the ball, and now the little one feels even more
Oh, I'm
worse.
sure he does.
So now he's crying.
Oh no, I
And
didn't
the-
see that at
and now
all.
the
Right.
older one is crying.
And you know what? He'll
Oh.
never get over that.
Well, they will.
Never. I don't
Well,
think
they
so.
will
Well-
because Nesson did a big thing on it. So The Red Sox come over. Here's a signed ball from
all
Kenley
right.
Jansen. Here's a signed jersey
It's all better now.
from Kenley Jansen.
Yeah, I didn't
Then
realize
Nesson came over, Jemai.
Yeah.
Came over with 2 baseballs signed by
Wow.
Will Middlebrooks and Dave O'Brien
Gee,
and Jemai. Here's
wow.
2 more baseballs. So they got a plenty of nice
I get
stuff
it, yeah.
for this thing. I said, this stuff never would have happened
And 5
40 years ago.
Right, because
of
nobody
course.
would have seen it.
No one would have seen
Oh,
it.
too bad.
No one would have made a
Right.
big deal about it.
Yeah, 10 minutes before they would be raiding this poor kid, and then 5 minutes after the officials left with all their, souvenirs that they gave, he
Yeah.
was a hero.
So
Right.
but that was nice.
Thank
but
you for doing that.
But to see the older
That's
brother
great.
going,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
threw the ball.
That's got to be a classic picture.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah,
It's funny.
the expression on his
And they even said, boy, they'll be telling this at his wedding.
Oh, I'm sure. That's what I meant. He'll never get over it, but he did. He did get it.
But they
over
got
it.
some nice stuff.
Yeah.
So that was nice to see. So well, the Red Sox can do better. The pitching is starting to come around. The hitting is starting to come around. They actually got players playing where they should be playing.
Yeah.
Kiki Hernandez at shortstop was such a lousy idea. Leads the league in errors. And but now they got him out of there, and Reyes is doing great there. And
There's always
we'll
hope.
see.
We remember
there is always hope. We're not even at the All-Star break yet.
When you were a kid, 67, if you were here. I was right.
I don't
You were a
remember.
kid. You probably weren't.
I wasn't.
I remember.
existence.
I was here on the Impossible Dream
Yeah.
team. It could happen.
It could.
Again.
All right, moving on. So Melissa, the governor did sign the budget, $14 billion.
Yes.
State budget on Friday. Passed the Senate 32-4. Wow, pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
32-4. Are you happy
that's-
with the budget? Are you happy the way it turned out? You still get some misgivings? Overall,
Overall,
thoughts on it?
yes, I am happy about a lot of the things that were included. There were a lot of things, obviously, that were not included that I would have liked to see. Maybe some more help for our families in poverty that didn't make it in. One thing that wasn't a bill that I passed, but was part of a bill that I passed, and I got it into the budget, which I really, lobbied for this, was there's this program called RI Works, and it's a great program. It helps like single moms, grandparents raising their grandkids. And so if mom's on Rhode Island Works, she doesn't qualify for benefits until she is 7 months pregnant, which really doesn't make sense to me. So we were able to push that back till the onset of pregnancy. It was important to me. I know I'm getting a little political here, but it was important to me because our maternal health mortality rates are really high for Rhode Island. They're actually quite embarrassing. We're like down there with Oklahoma and Kentucky, and I just thought, why wouldn't you be able to qualify for benefits right away? And it's, just like a little extra a month, but that means healthy food, prenatal vitamins,
Okay.
different clothes. Like we got to make sure that those birth outcomes get better and that the maternal mortality rates get lower.
Listen, I just have a question. You said at the onset of pregnancy, do they have to prove that they're pregnant before they can get?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Because a lot of people, not a lot. Some people would say, "Hey, I'm pregnant. Give me some bennies," but you have to.
No, you have to take a
to
test
prove
like
it.
at the doctor's office. And-
Yeah, okay,
but
all right.
But right. So
Sure.
I think I heard it correctly. There's in the budget. There's no money for the Superman building, and there's no money for the soccer stadium. Is that good? That's correct, right? Okay.
No money
So-
for. I'm surprised about. I'm not
And
surprised about
we-
Superman, but
we
soccer.
cut the. There was supposed to be a decrease in sales tax, like 0.25%, and
Like a shot down, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You beat me to the next question.
Gas tax relief, no,
Melissa.
no.
Any tax increases at all? I know that was all decrease, but are there any increases? As far as you know.
As far as I know,
No. Well, that's not bad. Now, do you have? I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but last year's budget was about the same, about 13-point-something billion, or was it? Is this a record budget?
this is a record
This is a
budget.
record.
Yes.
Yeah. And yet with no tax increase. That's
Well,
not,
also-
possibly no tax increase.
Well, right. I mean, the whole gas tax relief that was
Yep.
gonna. That's the consumers are never gonna see that.
Yeah, well,
at
that's,
the
that's
pump.
the whole point.
Right,
That's
so-
where, that's where they raise the taxes. Nobody knows. Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's still
that was never going to trickle down to the consumer, so it didn't make sense
trickle
because
down. That's a good pun.
yes,
I
yeah,
like that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, very good.
Because that doesn't work, right? And do we know that yet? But yeah. So,
Oh, okay.
but
So
relief for business owners and the tangibles tax, which
That's
is
right.
huge.
That was big. All right.
So the top for about the tangibles tax is just like so silly and onerous.
Yep.
The bottom 75% of small businesses will end up paying no tangibles tax.
So 4 people voted against the budget. Can I assume that they were not members of the Democratic Party?
that would be a correct assumption.
That's a pretty good assumption there, Romeo. Very good.
Do you think that they would have objected no matter what because they're
Of course, they
Republicans?
always do.
Yeah. Okay.
Same,
So
same 4
how many
time.
Republicans in the Senate?
5.
So 1 voted for it, or wasn't
Were they
Or they
absent? One was absent.
there? And every Democrat voted for it.
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
I mean, we all didn't get what we wanted, right? But we all
never
got a
do.
little. But we all got something that
There's
was
always
important to
that's
us.
the
So
art of,
it's
the art of
you know.
compromising. It's good.
Oh boy, yes.
All
Lots
right.
of compromise.
It's time for a break here on the Coffee and program, but more coming your way. You can call in your comments or questions at 766-1240. Do you have an apartment or home for rent? Or perhaps you have extra items to sell. With over 50,000 readers in print and online, The Call and OneSocketCall.com is the best place to reach customers here in the Blackstone Valley. Whether it's apartment rentals, homes for sale or rent, lost and found items, or even job listings, our classifieds offer an affordable way to reach readers, subscribers, and advertisers every day of the week. So, if you have something you want to sell, call us today at 767-8503 with your ad, and it will appear in the next day's call. Be sure to call before the 2:30 p.m. deadline. That's 767-8503 to place your ad today.
Fresco Italiano, a Night of the Arts, returns to the St. Ann Arts and Cultural Center on Saturday evening, June 24th at 5 p.m. The evening will feature professional artists, an art competition by the Northern Rhode Island Council of the Arts featuring students from Woonsocket and Cumberland high schools, and a delicious Italian buffet served under the center's magnificent fresco paintings. Tickets are available at Beeler's Flowers, Creative Impressions, The Honey Shop, Timeless Antiques, and Vos True Value Hardware. For more information and menu, visit the St. Ann Arts and Cultural Center website.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON Radio.
Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us on this Monday morning. This is Joe Callahan here with Melissa Murray and Romeo Berthium as well. And a couple of things that happened one thing that happened with the Boston Red Sox. They released a player. He pitched down in Worcester. He came up. I think he pitched 1 game for Boston. And this just goes to show you, when if you tweet something out, it never really goes away. And his name is I think it's Scott Dermody. I'm not sure of his first name, but he was released because of some tweets he put out that were homophobic. 2.5, a year and a half, 2 years, 2 years ago.
There
Yep.
you go.
And even though he apologized for it, they still said we can't have you around here.
It's amazing how
Things
that.
things hang around now.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you can apply that principle to politicians. Yeah, and I'll just not
Yeah.
because Melissa's here, but I think she would agree. There are so many good people out there who will never run for office because of that. Something they did, something they're afraid might come out because the media will eventually get you. And I always say this. In 1789, when the Constitution was adopted, we had 10 million people living in the U.S. of A. And of those 10 million, we had all these great, statesmen like Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, Thomas, et cetera, et cetera. You get the point. And out of the population, these great people emerged. Now, fast forward to now, 2023. What's the population? 350 million about in the U.S. versus 10 million in 1789? Where are they? They're out there somewhere percentage-wise, but they're not going to run. Because eventually they're going to find something in their background that they did 2.5 years ago, or whether you're a ball player or a politician, or 5 years or 10 years ago when you were a kid. Look at the Supreme Court hearings they had. And basically, they're going to come out with it, and it's going to either discourage you from running, and of course, not only you, your family gets run in. So that's
Yeah.
one of the reasons why. Where are they? Where did they all go? They're there.
Yeah.
They're just not running. That's my opinion. I don't know if you agree with that.
Well, yes and no.
Okay.
I mean, everybody has skeletons in their closet, and nobody is perfect.
That's right. We're human.
Yes. But I think also there's an apathy to running, or maybe because we've elevated politicians so much, people think, oh, I could never do that. But the wonderful and also frightening thing is that we're all just regular people.
No, come on.
So, but also it takes a lot of money and a lot of time.
Yeah, it does. It's expensive.
So if
to
you
run.
don't have
Yeah.
at least, you
That's
aren't
true.
plentiful in both of those, or at least one of them,
Yeah.
it's really, really hard.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I was lucky that I have a flexible schedule. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, well, the Pope, who just came back from surgery and doing well again, and one of the oldest living popes, he's about 86, once said, if I would have known I was going to be Pope someday, I would have studied harder. you never know, when you're young, what's going to happen in the
Right,
future.
right. You
So
don't.
that's another...
But on that note, I did see a funny joke on Facebook. That's why I'm on Facebook, for the jokes. Someone said, I'm so glad I grew up in the 70s because of all the stupid things I did, and there's no record of it.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that's a
I'm
good
like,
one.
oh, that's great.
And 80s too.
And it's even
right?
better for
Yeah.
me. I grew up in another decade, decade of a certain age. Okay. No, but no, you're right. The innocent, all right, I'll say it. The innocent 50s and 60s. Yeah.
We can figure it out, Romeo.
Yeah, I know. I just do it. Look at my hair.
All right, we have another story. This involves the New England Patriots. Did you hear their cornerback Jack Jones arrested at Logan Airport?
I did hear that, yes.
Guns in his luggage.
Loaded.
Loaded
Loaded
guns
guns.
in his luggage.
What is wrong with these people?
Right. What
not
are you ever in your life?
Ever? Yeah, do you not look at the news?
I mean, I can understand the guns, maybe, as an accident. I put those in, but they're loaded. Yeah, and I still, think it's wrong. But
I don't know.
stupid.
So,
It's stupid.
Yeah, very.
well, I'm a football player,
Now, whoa, what are you implying there,
Right.
Joseph?
I'm special.
I'm
nobody's-
dumb.
Yeah.
No,
I'm dumb.
yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah.
I'm not going with the dumb angle.
No,
I'm going
I-
with I'm special.
But that decision
But
was
it's
dumb.
me.
Yeah, it could be right.
Call
Yeah, Then I
Logan,
got-
someone call Robert Kraft for me.
then I got to arrest me. No.
That's
Yeah,
right.
no,
I'll get through
that's
it.
another good point. Yeah.
But
they did.
and they did, and they probably he probably won't
he-
get those guns back. Either.
Is he going to keep playing football
well, I
for the
don't know.
Patriots?
We'll have to
I
see.
bet you anything he won't.
But he's a good player.
Well, that's a factor.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It could be.
Okay, I'm not excusing the horrible homophobic tweet, but if somebody gets let go for a tweet 2 years ago, but somebody doesn't get let go for
Firearm.
trying to get a loaded firearm onto a plane.
So what do you say? I think I'm
just saying.
Well, there's a
you
double
say.
standard, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So, okay.
Well, there are two sets of laws. One for the elite and one for the...
That's right. All right. Other things going on. We got to get Romeo's opinion on this because in Providence they are extending the school day next year by 30 minutes
Okay,
for everybody.
that's good.
You
Now
like
that
you
I'm
like you like that?
Well,
idea.
now that I'm retired, of course.
Let's go back to when you weren't retired and you were a teacher.
I think the summer vacations are too long. No. I
I'm
think
always
it's a good
surprised.
idea.
I'm always surprised this gets by the teachers' union.
There is so much waste in the school day. So much waste, Some of the study halls are too long.
Does this add to the waste, or will it
That's
be used
what I'm
constructively?
that's what I'm concerned about. It's like trying to solve a problem with money by throwing money at it doesn't necessarily always work. I don't know.
We're going to throw
what's-
time at it. This
My
time.
opinion, being very, very objective, I think they seriously have to extend that. School day's not long enough. I mean, it's. I know all my working peers are gonna call me and say, "Hey, what are you talking about?" But being objective, I think. It starts at what 7:15, 7:30, goes till 2.
I think
yeah.
my daughter, she's in high school, 7:20 or maybe 7:25 to 1:50.
Okay. So that's like six hours.
Yeah.
And that's plenty in a school day. But because of the fact that what they're going to do probably is extend the periods. Instead of 43 minutes, there'll be 46 or 47. Or they'll add a new period. Instead of a 7-period day, it'll be an 8-period day.
Well, they're saying, Romeo, that the extension is an effort to recover school time lost during the pandemic. Do you agree with that statement?
No,
Okay.
because I don't think they'll ever get that back.
Yeah.
Never.
So why even try?
Yeah.
I'll even
Well,
try to recover that.
It's better for parents because less money for daycare. Daycare is so
I don't know if it's
expensive.
but I don't know if it's gonna be less money. Either you put your kid in for
Yeah,
the whole day or just after school. And we don't care
Well,
how long
right.
after school is. It's gonna
Yeah.
be the same amount of
Well-
money.
They'll be paying more for daycare because the kids that don't go to school are going to have to be watched longer because the parent, you know what I mean? The kids
Yeah.
will be in school. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But it's
They can't it's just. I always thought, like, why wouldn't you start it a little bit later and end it a little bit later to sync up with most people? I mean, a lot of people don't have a 9 to 5 anymore.
9 to 5. Yeah.
But if teenagers need more sleep and that has been proven, then why would you
Well-
wake them up and have them
and-
start a day and then they're
Everybody up at 5:30.
right? I mean, it just seems
Yeah.
like a better idea to
In-
start it.
Yeah, a little
9.
bit later. Yeah, in Florida, they recently passed a law there, and I think the governor was behind it. I know your friend. I'm being a little facetious here, but he did sign a bill forcing public high schools, to start later, which might be a good thing because the kids, but there's a lot of
7:25
opposition.
is
People,
so
pe-
early.
yeah,
Right,
they're going to start
right.
at 9. They're going to go to 3 instead of starting at 7:30 and going till 1:30 or something like
Yeah.
that. But the point is, think about it for a minute. After school sports,
That's the issue.
part-time jobs.
Yep.
So there's a lot of opposition to that, but it's too late. They've done it in Democratic Florida. I don't mean that as a political party.
everybody
I mean,
has to have a good idea at least
Yeah.
once in a while.
Yeah.
But if the
Oh.
high school goes 9 to 3, that means the
But the elementary
school
kids
is
are
gonna
gonna
be
s-
like quarter to 10.
No.
to like 4.
It's the opposite. They're going to go earlier. They start.
Really?
They start
What?
later in Florida. They're going to go earlier. I don't have the details. I wish I knew about
Interesting.
this. I would have.
Yeah,
done it
I'm not
specifically.
sure what the
Next time I
reasoning
come,
is.
I'll
All right.
again. I'll research it and I'll
Because
let you know.
the kids don't need, they don't need as much rest as the teenagers
Well,
do,
they go
and they
little
get
ki-
recess. So.
and teenagers go to bed late.
Yeah.
Even if they go into their rooms, they run their computer and they're doing homework, of course. And they get the way it is now. They get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, get ready for school, and some of them don't make it, because they oversleep or whatever. But I'll get the specifics on that bill and I'll bring it in
I
next.
would like to know that.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
All right, just take a look at the Call newspaper from Saturday because I think it's an interesting story. There was a guy allegedly driving around the city of Woonsocket on his dirt bike.
Oh yeah.
Just cruising around, going through red lights and things like that. And then, according to the police, intoxicated
No.
as he's crossing through the city. And this all happened last Wednesday, flouting traffic laws. And they actually cornered him pretty close to where we are now, right over on Vernon Street at the creamery, the Cool Corner Creamery.
Yeah, you
over
wanted
there.
ice cream.
Got, yeah, well, it tastes good.
Can't blame a guy for that.
Got him there around 7 o'clock. They had to tackle him to the ground. Took several officers and pepper spray to get him into the police cruiser. He's fighting them.
He's a fighter.
Yep, his name is Matthew Durand.
No.
And he was identified through his tattoos. He's 29, lives on Cass Avenue, driving under the influence with an unknown blood alcohol concentration, reckless driving, resisting arrest, refusal to submit to a chemical test, simple assault on a police officer, operating an unregistered motor vehicle.
Lots of charges there.
Yep.
Let's see, he'll never run for office because that'll come out.
Or maybe he will.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes you hear these stories and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, what?
No, you're right. Yeah.
As you know, Providence has declared the war on the dirt bikes, so I wonder if
Yeah.
they're moving on to other.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that too
Cities.
because I did see one
I
last
think that's a
week,
good idea.
so.
Yep. Before they captured him, various police officers had spotted him riding in an unsafe manner on multiple occasions during the 4 p.m. to midnight shift, but they didn't pursue him for safety reasons.
Smart.
Well, yeah, but
They got him.
But they got him. So
Confiscate that bike and
Ate that ice cream.
crush it. Right? Isn't that what they're doing now? They're crushing the bikes.
well, that's what they do in Providence.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yes,
I didn't
Yeah.
know
They
that.
Make
confiscated
a big
take
deal
it.
of it. Yeah, they
Oh
crush,
my
They
God.
crush them all, like
Wow.
publicly.
Wow. Now that'll be appealed in court.
Public
won't it? Destroying
shaming.
property?
Well, public shaming is fair. Well,
How do they crush them? Do they run them over or something? Or
No, there's actual the
There's
things
a
that
machine?
compact
Yeah,
cars.
yeah.
throw it in
Now,
there, that thing.
I'm surprised they're not going to get sued for that.
I'm
for
surprised they
destroying
don't either.
property, you know, and they probably will.
Well, it's not. I mean, if you're riding it illegally and it becomes police property, you know.
Unless the law says you can do it, but even then, laws.
But
can
it's
be
an
changed.
unregistered vehicle,
Yeah.
so who does it belong to?
It
You can
belongs
say it's
to-
mine, but how do you prove it?
Right.
And you can't.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
Yeah,
I got my initials scratched in it.
Or a bill of sales from the guy I bought it from, and no.
Or
Okay.
from Joe down the street.
Joe.
Yeah. I
Who
don't
just
think
wrote
other
it
people
out.
are writing any bill of sales.
I
for-
didn't know you were selling.
I'm selling dirt bikes,
Dirt
yes, I
bikes. All right. Well,
All right, break time here on the Coffee and program. Time for a look at the forecast being brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Mostly cloudy skies today with a high near 74 and a calm wind. Tonight, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 54. Tuesday's weather, partly sunny skies and 71, calm wind. Wednesday, mostly sunny, 75. Thursday, mostly sunny and 81. Friday, mostly sunny and 83. Saturday, mostly cloudy skies and 83 degrees. And Sunday, mostly cloudy, chance of showers with a high of 80.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with mostly sunny skies and 69 degrees. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. The food will not disappoint at Black Bar and Grill. Customers love the extensive menu and rave about how perfectly everything is cooked. For dine-in only, you can have your choice of chilled or warm lobster roll with fries. Black Bar and Grill packs the buttered roll with more than 1/4 pound of lobster. You'll love it. Black Bar and Grill, 1697 Mendon Road, Woonsocket, offers live entertainment. Be sure to visit the website to see the menu and the bands that are coming. Visit blackbargrillwithan.com. At the turn of this century, 27% of people who passed away were cremated. By the year 2020, that figure rose to 56%. The Cremation Association of America projects that by the year 2040, 4 out of 5 Americans will choose cremation over a casket burial. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center of Woonsocket can answer your questions about the cremation process. Go online to providencecremation.com. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center on Spring Street, Woonsocket. Let them create the perfect service for your loved one. Berarducci Funeral Home and Cremation Care Center.
Hi, this is Don Burnell inviting you to join us on the Midday Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday with the Super Quiz, great oldies, and interesting guests.
All right, Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Romeo Berthum and Melissa Murray. And we're just taking a look at some of the things that are going on in the news. I always find it amusing when it says this. Dan McKee said he asked David Patton to resign. More like, you better. Unless you want me to fire you, which do you want?
I mean,
All right, I'll
Yeah.
quit. And McKee went on to say about his behavior, it was disturbing and totally unacceptable.
100%.
What happened down there in Philadelphia.
Awful.
So-
Just awful.
And when, the New York Times and the LA Times, they're making fun of Rhode Island.
Well, what again? Similar to the football player on the plane. What was he thinking?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
This high and mighty attitude of, you've got 3 hours to convince me to give you $55 million. Go.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. And your finest croissant. Just
Yeah,
that was really just like,
And we want to go to this restaurant. Well, they're closed.
There,
Well,
well,
call the
open
owner
it.
and open it up.
yeah.
And they did,
Yeah.
which I would have been, no. We're going to
Just,
go someplace
just
else.
bad.
It was.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
bad all the way around. There was another story, and these always amaze me. They arrested the state police, Rhode Island State Police, arrested a Pawtucket man going the wrong way on 95, going south in the northbound lane, or the other way around. Doesn't really matter. Somewhere in the Pawtucket area near the S curves. Like,
Very dangerous.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
How do you do that?
how do you do that? Even when you're sober, you have to think to do that.
There is one thing that I'd like to say since you brought that up, and we've all been there on the on-ramp. Sometimes it says wrong way,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
the signs are not
Really faced at you.
So some of them are, and you say if you don't know the roads, you say, "Oh my God, and you're not. It's for the
Yeah,
other lane,"
yeah.
and that could be how it could happen, maybe sometime. I don't know.
Right, because they're just facing towards you,
Yeah.
but they're to your left, so it means
Yeah,
if you're
exactly. They're trying to turn them a little bit, but we know the roads pretty well. I mean, being natives.
Yeah, yeah.
and-
But sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I'm
you're a
on the wrong way.
visitor. Yeah, it's kind of so. But can't think of any other way they could get in the wrong lane.
But if you're on the highway and you see a bunch of headlights coming at you, hey, maybe I'm in the wrong.
Right, right.
And
Maybe I should pull over and
most
see
of
what's
these
going on.
usually happen at night.
Yeah.
Late, thank God. Well, not good in a way, but thank God because there's not as much traffic. But they can be very dangerous. Yeah.
Yep. Let's see.
So
I don't know if this was out of Massachusetts. The mayor of Taunton, Mass.
Taunton. Yep.
Her daughter in Ohio, 18 years old, went missing. Now, for whatever reason, her daughter is there in Ohio. It's a mental health facility, and she walked away from it.
Oh my gosh.
And so she was missing for about 3 days. She
found
was
it.
found safe.
All right.
They just said found safe in Ohio.
Yeah.
And the mayor of Taunton and her husband flew out there, and everybody's fine, and everybody's great, and no one's hurt, and okay, good.
Okay, and
so that-
how did this happen, right? I
They
mean,
won't tell you.
of course not, right?
How did she disappear? Other than that she walked away. Where was she? We don't know.
Yeah.
But other than that, she's safe. Found safe.
I'll bet you she's not going back there.
Well, why is she in a mental health facility in Ohio to begin with?
Probably drug addiction. Probably.
But why
Could be
Ohio?
specialized.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be specialized.
Couldn't
Who
find one
knows?
in Massachusetts.
The implications are pretty strong that this young lady has issues.
Something's up. And
And what are you going to do? Sad. It's sad for the parents.
Maybe there wasn't placement.
Maybe.
It's possible because we have a real
and
shortage of
that's the closest we could find.
Or maybe they
So-
did it.
sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry, Melissa.
Yeah.
Maybe they did it because they didn't want people to know about it. She's
Oh,
she's,
that's
vis-
maybe that's true, too.
right.
she's visiting Aunt Sally out in Ohio, or
yeah.
she's going to school out there, or
Yeah,
she's taking
well,
a special. You never.
that,
a lot of families feel shamed by mental
Yeah.
illness, so they do
Still,
that.
there's a stigma,
And,
you're right.
There is. Yeah.
Well, that,
course there is.
That's cat's out of the bag, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we
Oh,
know
the
why
mayor.
she's
That's
there.
the one that has a daughter that has a mental. I can hear it now. Yeah.
All right, let's
People
see.
are like that.
So since the budget has been passed and everything,
Yeah.
so you're done for now, Melissa.
Yes.
Going to the State House.
Yes.
Summer's off.
Summer off.
All right.
Like a
so-
teacher. That's
Like a
good.
teacher.
That's
I know.
good.
So when does everybody go back after Labor Day?
January.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh,
Yes.
wow.
They're,
Okay.
Oh, never mind. Unlike a teacher, they're off.
We are a
first.
part-time
I know,
legislature.
I know.
Unlike Mass.
Just easy.
Yeah.
As you know, yes,
Yeah.
we're a part-time legislature, and Joe, I'm never busy during the time that we're like that. No, it's a part-time job, right?
Is there a
oh my gosh, it is.
clause in our Constitution, Rhode Island Constitution, that says you have to adjourn by a certain date? It's a 60-day thing, right?
Well,
Is it?
no,
60?
but
Yeah.
the fiscal year starts on July 1st, so we need that budget passed.
Okay.
Or else it reverts to the previous year's
All right.
budget.
So
So, there's always a push.
You can keep going until you have a budget, basically.
and
which is-
that has happened. Yep. And,
well, I know
and
it has in the past.
We're early
Now,
this year.
again, each state makes its own rules about that. Like New
Yeah,
Hampshire only
yeah.
meets every 2 years. Well, they meet for a whole session, but once they adjourn, they don't meet again for 2 years later.
Yeah, I know. I've met legislators
Yeah.
from across the
They have
country,
a
and
two-year
they're
budget.
wild. And this one,
Like 304 or 400 legislators. It's the biggest legislature in the country.
yeah,
And I'm sure it's part-time. I'm positive of that. But
right.
in Florida, it's full-time. And they have a rule. Well, it's full. I'm not sure about that, but they have a rule. Their legislature has to adjourn by a certain date. They have and they do it all
That's
the time.
right.
And like, for example, I think they only meet for 60 days, like from January to March or something, or April maybe 90 days. But they actually have to adjourn. They cannot
Yeah.
continue. Like if they don't, I don't know what happens if they don't pass a budget. They don't have a budget, I guess.
They have to. They just have to do it.
So I'm not sure
Right,
again.
so-
But yeah.
I've met other legislators, and we were kind of
Hmm.
just hanging out, and I think she was from Delaware, state senator from Delaware, and she said, "Oh, having to have another extra job, obviously because our
Oh, yeah.
stipend doesn't pay the bills."
Yep.
And I said, "Oh yeah," and I said, "How much do you get?" And
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, we get 45,000," and I said, "Oh, well."
45, not bad.
I was like, "Oh, wow," and then I told her how much we got, and she She's like,
She laughed.
yeah.
Well, it's
and
better than what you used to get. Not you, but the
Yeah,
residents,
yeah,
until
yeah.
about 20 years ago, they got nothing.
Right.
They got like $10 a day or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah. I remember my father telling me it was $5 a day.
Five. So yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So
What
Definitely.
Haven Brothers are going
Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely
right,
part-time,
right.
even
And so
that.
I asked her, I said, well, how long do you meet? And she said, 90 days.
Okay.
So
In
yeah.
Delaware? Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So it just depends on the state, but yeah, we will. We
Now-
will probably not go back until January.
Okay, now Massachusetts has this I'm sure about, and you are too, Joe, right? Because you live there. I think you are. They're full-time.
Full time.
full-time.
Yep.
And they're expensive because they have a staff.
Yeah.
Now,
We have staff also.
that's my other question.
Our staff works full time.
Do you, yeah, they make a lot more money than you guys.
For sure.
Do you think that Rhode Island should have a full-time legislature?
I do.
Okay.
I think about how many things could get done and not rushed. I mean, there's this mad rush at the end
Mm-hmm. Okay.
to just kind of
Yeah.
come to an agreement on certain bills. Like, all right, I'll compromise here. I mean, would everything drag out where people would end up doing everything at the end anyway? Probably.
Maybe. Yeah.
But there's so much work to be done,
Yeah.
and oversight that isn't.
Now, you're
done.
not in session now until January,
Yeah,
unless there's a
correct.
special session called by the governor if an emergency arose. I know that, but
Yeah,
during the time off, and I put that in quotation marks, you're
Mm-hmm.
not really off, are you? You're always available for your constituents.
Oh yeah.
And you're
yeah.
probably, calling people for them and doing things for them.
Yeah,
Am I right?
and already working on next year's,
Yeah.
bills. Well, I'll probably won't do that for a couple of months,
I
but
don't
I already
blame you.
know
Yeah.
What you want to
what
put
I'm.
in?
Yeah. yeah,
But
so,
if people call you with a problem, that
Oh,
you
yeah,
that they
24/7.
think you can help them with, you know what I mean?
yeah, people like, oh, I figured you'd be in your office today. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
or I
we
got-
don't really get.
Or I went to the registry and I had a hard time, and they
that
gave
kind
me
of
a-
stuff all the time.
and can you
All the
help me?
time.
And
All
what
the
do you
time.
do at that point? Well, you try to help them, of course.
Of course.
That's
yeah.
what you do.
Yeah.
So you're really not part-time. You are, but you're not. You're in session part-time.
We're in session part time.
But you're
but we're
full-time.
we're full time.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
That wrong way driver, by the way.
What's that?
The wrong way driver.
Oh, yeah.
He was going south on 95 North in Pawtucket, and it happened, of course, 2 in the morning,
See, if,
Saturday into Sunday morning.
probably.
He's already been arrested for
Yeah.
wrong way driving and DUI.
Oh, yeah.
His name is Joey Fougere. He's 49 years old.
Oh.
Failed all field sobriety tests. Taken into custody.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
that explains that.
He did consent to a blood test. Was charged with driving under the influence. He was later arraigned in front of a justice of the peace and released.
Released. Okay. I hope they drove him home.
But wouldn't they call somebody? Come get
They
this person?
probably would.
Because they'd have to confiscate.
They got the car. Are they gonna crush it?
No, they won't. Crush
They won't crush it.
No,
No.
they won't crush the car.
They should.
No, it's registered and it's legal. Maybe, hopefully.
Yeah.
He's not
Right.
driving it on the dirt, so it's not a
Yeah.
dirt car.
Yeah, it's
so
got 4 wheels.
4 wheels,
Yeah.
steering wheel.
Yeah,
4 doors.
5 wheels with the steering wheel. Yeah.
A friend of mine got hit on Friday. Well, it was the last night of session. We were in there until about 1:30. Got hit by a wrong way driver on a one-way street. And it was like 2:00 in the morning. Yep.
Any injuries?
Yeah, she had injuries. Her car's totaled, but
That's
I mean,
not
she's
good.
no, it's not good.
Did
It's
they
not
charge
good.
this person with something?
I'm guessing probably because she
Yeah.
said she laid on her horn, but the person never even slowed down or stopped. So
Wow.
What time of the day did this happen?
2 a.m.
Yeah, again, those
Yeah.
are dangerous. My mother always said it's dirty after midnight.
Nothing good happens
That's
after
right.
midnight.
She's right.
Yeah,
She was
true. You
right.
have to be so careful.
So sorry about your friend.
Yeah, she's
that's too
gonna
bad.
be okay, but she's
Yeah.
broken bones and yeah.
Probably.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Oh,
Serious
geez.
accident.
Jeez, that's sad.
Yep.
Where did this happen? In what
Providence.
town? Providence, yeah.
All right. We're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program. More's coming your way. You can call on your comments and questions at 766-1240.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The yard sale event of the season is this weekend at Pepin Lumber. Come see all the bargains in front of the store. Tools, hardware, decking, paints and stains, craft items, unfinished wood items, and more are all part of this incredible yard sale. Bargain hunters and DIY enthusiasts will both love what you find at the Pepin Lumber Yard Sale, Saturday, June 24th from 7:30 to 1 and Sunday, June 25th from 8 to 1. Pepin Lumber Yard Sale is at 830 Cumberland Hill Road, Woonsocket, this weekend.
Fresco Italiano, a Night of the Arts, returns to the St. Arts and Cultural Center on Saturday evening, June 24th at 5 p.m. The evening will feature professional artists, an art competition by the Northern Rhode Island Council of the Arts featuring students from Woonsocket and Cumberland high schools, and a delicious Italian buffet served under the center's magnificent fresco paintings. Tickets are available at Beeler's Flowers, Creative Impressions, The Honey Shop, Timeless Antiques, and Vos True Value Hardware. For more information and menu, visit the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center website.
Coffee In here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Murray and Romeo Berthium. Just taking a look at some things going on around the country. If you enjoy, and who doesn't enjoy an occasional Twinkie every now and then?
Oh, yeah.
Although it has been quite a while since I've had a Twinkie.
Yeah, I'm trying to recall the last time I
you had a
had one,
Twinkie?
I can't.
I used
Well,
to love those.
They may cost a little more because the U.S. Department of Labor is fining Hostess, who make the Twinkies,
Yeah. Why?
nearly $300,000 because a worker lost a fingertip
Oh.
in the process.
Do we
How
know
does that happen?
where?
Making Twinkies.
Where
is
the-
it in
where
the-
it ended up? They ended up in the batter. I don't know where it ended up.
Oh, come on. Joe.
So this past Friday, the Labor Department slapped a $298,000 fine on Hostess Brands, ruling that the bakery's company's safety and training failures led to a worker in Chicago losing a fingertip. All right. The department said its investigation found that Hostess could have prevented the amputation injury the 29-year-old worker suffered while reassembling a pump at a company facility.
all
So I
right,
don't think it had
okay.
anything to do with the food.
They probably pumped the cream in there or something. I was thinking maybe the little square at the bottom, maybe they were cutting it. And
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, I think I'm
took
just
a-
going to stay away from.
Took a pump apart.
No more
putting it
Twinkies
back
for you,
together.
No,
well,
not that I can even remember
But
the
those
last
are-
time I had.
those
yeah,
were my
Twinkie, but
favorite. I love those.
I
when
think
was a
I
kid.
will
Yeah.
stay from that.
Loved them as a kid, and I remember not having one for the longest time. And then you go back and you have one as an adult. You're like, hey, they shrunk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no,
yeah,
you
yeah,
had
yeah.
much smaller hands. back
No,
then.
but I
Oh,
also
well,
think
yeah.
they shrunk.
All right, we're going to make them smaller and charge more.
That's right.
They will do that anyway. That'll give them an excuse.
Oh, well,
I
yeah.
mean, when you think about it, a big company like Hostess, that amount of money is relatively
it's actually not a
insignificant.
lot.
It's insignificant.
You think it'd be more. than
But the point,
$300,000.
but the point is too. Yeah. All right, I made my point. Never mind. Yeah.
And I think the last time I had one, I was like, where did the cream go? A lot more cake.
Yeah.
Not enough cream.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about jelly donuts. Where's the jelly? Sometimes.
So it's all on one side.
Yeah. Okay.
The donut?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, now you can't blame my daughter. She works at Dunkin', but she
Oh, doesn't make the
she doesn't make
donuts?
no, there's special
No.
people. There is a quote unquote baker.
There is. And
Yes,
some
that makes the
shops
donuts.
and some shops don't make them there. They
No,
just
they get shipped
they
in.
deliver them.
She works at one of the shops that actually where
Make
the
them?
baker works. Yeah.
Ah.
So
Time to make the donuts, that guy.
The
Remember that
donuts are much.
commercial?
Remember that?
The donuts there are much better.
Does your
They're
daughter
fresh.
does she make the coffee or does she serve
Oh
it? or
yeah,
does
She's,
does the
she's
coffee?
good at any
Yeah.
kind of coffee
Yeah?
that people ask for,
Oh, good.
and some people ask for strange combinations.
Mm-hmm.
And talking to her, would she agree that most of the business is takeout now? You
Yes.
see the lines of cars.
The lines at the drive-through.
So when
yes.
when I stop at Dunkin' for some, and I see a long line of cars waiting for the
Go
drive-thru,
inside.
I'll go inside and I'll get
It's faster.
immediate service.
I do that too. I check which car I would have got in behind. Okay, it's the white Ultima.
And usually
Go inside, get your
Yeah.
stuff, come back out. The
Yeah.
car behind
Still
the white
waiting.
Altima still hasn't even ordered yet. I was like, all right, I did it right.
Well, the car in front of the white Ultima's probably ordered all these different varieties of things.
Yeah. He's on the
That's
run for
story
the
of my-
whole.
That's the story of my life. I'm always on the wrong line.
It's smart where she works because she works right over the line in Norton, Massachusetts, but they're
Okay.
the closest Dunkin' Donuts to the Xfinity Center.
Okay.
And whenever there's a show, they get the call. We need 8 dozen donuts
Wow.
and like 7 boxes of Joe.
Okay. Now is this?
And
on
we're gonna pick them up in like 4 hours from now, so we got plenty of time to make it.
Is it on Route 1?
No, 140
140. Okay.
is where she's on.
I thought I knew.
But
what it was.
the funniest one she told me most recently is someone ordered a coffee, wanted 14 creams
In one
one
coffee?
and they're like,
Why don't
all
they
right.
just drink
And
coffee
then-
milk?
And then complained that the coffee was cold. You wanted 14
Yeah.
creams in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's a lot of that kind of thing.
A lot of
going on.
stories. A lot of stories.
Yeah,
She could write a book.
She could. It's,
Yeah.
like, it's
Yeah.
bizarre what people order, and,
Yeah.
and like
and, how,
that,
and how they do it too.
and how they order it. Yeah. All right. So that over in Vegas, the Las Vegas Metro Police have confirmed that they have set up cameras at a house where the family reported seeing 2 aliens land in their backyard in early May.
I heard about that.
You hear about that?
Yeah.
So the police actually went up and set up cameras.
Now, there was a special on TV about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, on a Sunday night. I remember my son told me about it, and I watched part of it. And apparently this guy, he used to be a military guy, very good, great credentials. He was interviewed by an Australian commentator, but it was done in the U.S., and he's convinced that the government is hiding the fact that
At Area 51.
they're out there.
All right.
And,
well, these people in
they're
Vegas
with us,
said
and,
those creatures
yeah.
are like 8 to 10 feet tall.
Well, I think those, yeah, I saw that.
Definitely not humans.
Yeah. Well,
So
where,
anyway,
where are they now?
well, they only show up once. The cameras, which have since been removed from the house,
Yeah.
were to capture images of possible intruders, human or otherwise.
Yeah.
The report of 2 8 to 10 foot tall non-human creatures was made shortly after a Metro police officer's body camera captured something falling from the sky.
That's scary.
A TV station in Vegas says other neighbors told police they felt something land in the area that night. Metro police are not calling the incident a hoax, saying there likely was something in the backyard, though it's still not clear exactly what it
Well,
was.
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. They'll probably stay.
Well, as
Hopefully.
you know, your UFO people, when they show up, they never come back to the same place.
Yeah.
We've been here. We got to go to Disney World next. You know, we've seen Vegas. We want to get we got to get to San Diego. Go see
Well,
the zoo and
if they are out there, and they could be, I mean, I'm not discounting it completely, but they haven't harmed us, I don't think, yet. Do you?
No.
I mean, we harm ourselves before
Mm-hmm.
they harm us.
Yeah, that's true. We're our own worst enemy, aren't we?
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
you're
are.
right. You're right.
Now, why they're doing this, I'm not sure, but Toyota is developing an electric car with fake transmission.
Why?
I don't know. The Toyota engineers are working on an electric car with a fake manual transmission. The engineers say the transmission will serve no purpose, and it would just be for people who like to shift gears for fun.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
me.
That's you?
That's me.
Well, you're in the market for a new car, right?
I am.
So that's something to think about.
That's right.
All right. The driver will be able to
I like this
experience
idea.
the shake and buck feeling if they select the wrong gear. You don't go from first to fourth. Whoa.
So it's not really.
Wait, can you
it's
turn it
not-
on and off? You're like today I want to drive, manual
Well,
transmission.
engineers say the car's computer will limit how far the shaking will go to avoid damage to the battery. Toyota hasn't announced when the fake shifting electric car will be sold. So I don't know if it will do what you want.
And the big question.
What's that? How much is it going to cost?
How
it's
much?
going to be $50,000.
It's always,
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
It's always the money, isn't it? It is.
Because it's only going to come in their new cars. It'll only be in that new Toyota Corolla.
Because I have been looking, and I prefer a manual transmission, but
Yeah.
not a lot of people.
You're one of the few.
I know.
It's
I
a
like
fun,
it too,
unless it's a truck or something like that.
Yeah, or like an
fun.
old, like
Yeah, you have no, it
an
isn't bad.
Audi or something like that. Saab, a couple of those.
I think I know why you like it better.
Theft proof.
Control.
Control. It is. That's true. That's
you can
true.
control the car much better with
You can, especially in the snow. But
Yeah, yeah.
and they're also theft proof.
Yeah. I had a truck that had the manual thing. I taught my grandson how to drive it, and he's great.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's
miss
fun.
It. I miss it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I like it too.
You think you could go back to do it? Is this
I
one
could.
of those things like riding a bike? You just already,
Yeah.
you
Oh
already know how to
yeah.
shift?
Yeah.
Once you
Yeah.
learn, that's how I learned how to drive when
Yeah.
I was,
So you're
when
all
I was
set.
16, and that's
Yeah.
like a couple of years ago. You never forget that. That's,
don't?
Never. I don't think you do.
I had a friend in high school. Him and his brother bought like an old car, old now, so that would have been early '60s old.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it was a manual, and the shift was on the column.
Oh, three
yeah.
on the
One's over
tree.
here.
I remember
Yes.
those.
Two's over here.
Yeah.
Three's
Yes.
over this way.
Like a branch.
Yeah.
Yep, 3 on the tree.
And
Yeah.
they
I
they
couldn't
learned
drive
how to
with
drive
that.
it that way.
I don't
Just
know
gotta
how to do
learn
that.
how to do that clutch and that.
Yeah.
Once you do that,
Yeah.
yeah.
So a man in Illinois is facing charges because he accidentally shot himself. Yes, he did.
Isn't that enough of a punishment?
Well, you would think so. Now, he says he shot himself because he was dreaming. This is what he says. He says he was dreaming he was being robbed. So he went and got his gun in his sleep, pointed the gun at what he thinks is the robber, but shoots himself in the leg.
I think it might have
Now,
been.
that's not bad enough. The reason he's actually charged, he was recently arrested because it's possession of a firearm without a valid firearm owner's identification card, which is what they need in Illinois.
Yeah.
All right. So this happened back in April, and he says police said that Dakar, that's his name, dreamed someone broke into his home. So he grabbed his revolver, fired at what he thought was the burglars, said he shot himself in the leg, and that woke him up.
I think it would. I think the judge would be very sympathetic to him and let him go because he got hurt. I mean,
Well, yeah, but,
But he
you know,
was-
it's $100 to get the firearms,
yeah, I
whatever
know.
the cost is.
So they'll waive the fine. That's
And
if I
also-
was a judge, I would.
Like that.
Gotta check his record though.
Right. And that's why it should have been in a safe. Like if you're the kind of person that wakes up in the middle of the night and does that, then you should probably put your firearm in a safe.
Well,
you
according to this, he was asleep, but had to go find wherever he keeps the gun. Maybe he keeps it by the table, or does he? Maybe he keeps it
Right.
safe.
Under the mattress, who knows, right?
I don't know.
And maybe
People
he has.
can do everything when they're
He
asleep.
probably has a
so-
condition where he sleepwalks too. you
Maybe
don't
he
know.
does.
They'll do
That
an
is, yeah.
investigation,
People sleep, eat, and
Yeah.
do all these
It
kind of
could
crazy
be.
things.
So
Hard to prove.
And the police,
right.
police do confirm there was no burglary attempt at his house. So they do think he was
Okay.
he was dreaming and
That's weird.
sleepwalking.
Very,
and
very
got up
strange. Very strange.
Yeah, except that he didn't own the gun legally. So
Right, which makes me think they'll look up his record. Does he have any other gun violations? And maybe he won't
Yeah.
get a light
What's he do?
fine
Yeah,
or
well,
whatever.
what's he doing with a loaded gun by the bed table? I think possibly.
Protection?
Yeah, but a little bit of paranoia too.
Maybe he's been broken into before.
Yeah.
All right. Well, stay out of Madison, Wisconsin this weekend.
Why?
It's the 13th annual World Naked Bike Ride. It's this coming Saturday.
that's a thing.
It is a thing. 13th annual.
Is it legal?
Yes. The
Indeed.
annual event
No.
in Madison, Wisconsin is meant to promote body positive image and independence from fossil fuels.
What? Wait a minute.
Yes.
Fossil fuels?
Well, ride a bike instead of driving your car.
Okay.
All right.
I got it.
Organizers said the theme of the ride this year was Bear as You Dare. Most riders were complete. Oh, this already happened.
Yeah, that was
All
last
right, go to
weekend.
Wisconsin. Most riders were completely nude with the exception of shoes and bike helmets. Safety first, you know.
Yeah, safety first.
Shoes. Yeah,
And-
head.
and the shoes.
Save your head.
I'm surprised they didn't have elbow pads. as
God.
well,
How many people participated?
they don't give you a number how many people were there.
It could have been 10, right?
yeah.
And they just got a lot of press.
maybe.
But we don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
It doesn't tell you how many were there. All right.
Yeah.
And Asteroid City is
Okay.
a new movie.
Okay.
And it's doing well. It's notching the strongest limited release opening weekend in years.
Yeah.
The film made $790,000 over this past weekend. It estimated to make $890,000, including the Juneteenth Monday holiday.
Oh.
So they haven't even included today's gate
What?
receipts.
Yeah, but what does it cost to make a film like that?
I don't know.
Must be a millions.
It averaged over $132,000 per theater over the 3-day weekend, making it the best limited release since a few years
Oh, it's
before
a
the
limited
pandemic.
release. Okay.
But it hits theaters everywhere this coming
All
Friday.
right, now you're going to talk millions.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 And it'll make, I don't even know.
Sounds
who's in it.
sounds interesting.
Sci-fi.
Yeah.
If you like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Asteroid City. Dun, 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 dun,
Is
dun.
that a location somewhere where the asteroids are spotted, or I don't know.
I don't know.
It's curious.
I haven't heard of it. I don't even
Well,
know who's in it. So.
Yeah. Well, something I want to watch.
I love it when folks take those kinds of movies and like pick them apart on social media, and they're like, "Well, this couldn't happen." Blah 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 blah. Yes, that's the other part of it. Science fiction. That's the fiction part.
Yeah.
Come on, yeah.
I do that. I follow
Yeah.
a MASH Facebook page, and people say, you know, Hawkeye said he had a sister in the first season, and then it's not there anymore. What's up with that? I said,
Oh gosh.
well, you know, they made a mistake, or they didn't know it was going to be a hit. You know,
The editor missed it.
yes, it slipped through the cracks. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
oh well. All right, we've run out of time. We got a few more seconds to go. Red Sox are in Minnesota. Take on Rocco Baldelli.
Yeah, Rocco.
And the
Yeah.
Twins. So let's see if they can keep the winning streak going. And
Well, let's hope so.
Keep the hits going.
Oh, yeah.
Will you go to any more games this season, Melissa? I know you went this past weekend.
Nope. That was the only one
yeah.
that was scheduled. So
Good. I'm glad
for
you had a
me,
good time.
yeah, it was. It
And
was
I'm
good.
glad they won. It's
Yeah.
tough when you only go to one game a season. They lose.
I haven't been to Fenway in a couple of years.
Looks the same.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't even go to the games in Florida anymore because
Too expensive, right?
Yeah, crazy.
Tough-
Are they
tough to get-
expensive now?
Tough to get tickets.
Very.
Yeah.
And hard to get tickets because they're only there for a month,
Yeah.
and they go on sale like December 1st.
Yeah.
And if you want the good seats, we can get seats, but you
Yeah.
got to way up in the nosebleed section.
Yeah.
May as well just watch it. It's all televised on local TV. But the point is, it's ridiculously expensive.
priced.
Very.
It is, and I saw folks there who had like 2 young kids.
Yeah.
But they had bought 4 seats.
Yeah.
And the kids were like young, like squirming around.
Yeah.
And I'm
So
just,
they're not even using their seats.
yeah.
Oh, well, they
I
paid
know.
for it.
Well, I mean, okay.
Well, it's a dream of a family to take my kids. We'll have them make some great.
yeah. This one guy was just like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is my daughter's first game,"
And
and
they'll spend like $500 just for one
But
day.
why do some people
maybe
bring,
less,
why do some
maybe
people
more
bring
than-
infants?
right, people were bringing. A lot of folks had their
Babysitters-
infants
because
there.
Because babysitters get $30 an hour, 30 or something
Then don't,
like
don't go to the game.
Right, but
Yeah, but-
but also my thing,
Yeah.
a lot of people had infants that had no light. It was
Yeah.
full sun most of
Yeah.
the time. No hat.
No hat. Oh,
That's not good.
No
hat.
hat, no covering. Oh.
Don't do that.
Well, they don't know until it's too late. It gets hot.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, we got to run. So thank you very much for listening in. Stay tuned. Coming up, we've got At the Library with Leslie Page, Food First with Karen Zay and Gary. Tonight's the Tiki Bar at 6 o'clock. And then we have a Woonsocket City Council meeting coming away at 7. Melissa Murray, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and there you are. And Romeo Bertham, thanks for
Yeah,
coming in.
always a pleasure. Happy Juneteenth, everyone. That's kind of hard to pronounce, isn't it? Juneteenth?
Yeah,
It'll
it's
roll.
Juneteenth.
Give it a few years, it'll roll off the tongue.
Yeah, always on the 19th, right? No matter
Always
what.
on the 19th.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
All right.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. You may recall that suspect who once asked for hot dogs and pizza to be delivered to his house during a standoff with police. He is now facing new charges. The Cranston Police Department arrested Gino Rotondo for allegedly